Hello everyone, this is Mika. Welcome to my channel. The iPhone 13 and 13 Pro has been released just about a week, but some people already calling it the iPhone 12s, as if it is a very small, minor upgrade. Well, let's see if this new phone is worth buying. If you're too busy to watch the whole video, which I will still recommend you to watch, here's a too long didn't watch summary right now. So compared to the last year's model, the iPhone 12 Pro, which I used, which was also a great phone, this one has a slightly better camera, is slightly faster, has a smoother display, if you can notice it, has a noticeably improved battery life, and it starts at 128GB version for its base cheapest model, compared to the last year, which was 64. But if you need more details, let's dive into the details. The design of the phone is almost exactly the same as the one that came last year, until you notice the differences. With slightly lower buttons and slightly larger cameras, we need a completely new cases as the older ones will not fit them. Regarding the colors, the black, white and gold ones are, to my eyes, exactly the same as last year's, so there is no way of knowing if you have the new one just from the color, unless you get the new blue color, which is Sierra blue, but it's more of a pale, washed out blue color, very different from last year's more of a navy blue one. Sometimes this new blue color looks like a light gray in some specific lighting, and honestly I still prefer last year's blue way more. In the box we get the same setup as last year. It's very thin box with only a USB-C to lighting cord included. Now let's move to the screen. First of all, I don't see how this one is any brighter than the 12 Pro in any significant way. Both the last two Pro models, which were the 11 Pro and 12 Pro, already have amazing brightness anyway. Secondly, the notch on the top is smaller, which is good, but provides no utility. There is no space for battery percentage. And thirdly, I can clearly say that the new 120Hz Pro Motion display has clear advantages in battery saving, in fast typing, as well as fast response times in games. But I'm afraid that ordinary users won't actually notice it right away or appreciate the benefits unless told. I gave my new iPhone 13 Pro to my sister and she could not tell if that screen was 120Hz or not. But anyway, I am very happy that out of the box it is set to 120Hz. You can manually set down to 60 in accessibility settings, but why? There is no reason. Usually what happens with 120Hz screens is that battery life is affected. However, Apple also added a variable refresh rate to it, so it actually helps to increase the battery life by reducing the refresh rate when there is nothing happening on your screen. I will say, however, that I don't actually need a faster refresh rate screen on my phone. However, because of the benefits to the battery life, this upgrade is definitely worth it. Sadly, this technology of lowering down the refresh rate to save battery is not available on the standard iPhone 13 and 13 mini models, which begs the question why. Anyways, speaking of battery, what a jump! Even on this upgrade alone, I would change my 12 Pro. No, it does not have super fast battery charging like some Android phones, or super fast wireless charging, or even a reverse charging, so that you can charge other phones. But the extra hours you get are very noticeable. I get about 2 to 3 hours more battery life, which is about 20% more battery than last year. For many people, this is very good news. Now let's speak about the speakers. I think compared to the last year's, they are identical, but you can have a listen right now and judge for yourself. And now let's shift focus to one of the most important things about any modern smartphone, which is the cameras. I have tested my iPhone 13 Pro camera against my previous iPhone 12 Pro camera from the last year. And to be honest, I get very inconsistent results. For the night mode, it seems like newer model has less grain and less noise, but I have noticed sometimes the older model getting a better pictures. However, in general, the newer model takes less time to produce the same shot. Regarding nighttime videos, I am very impressed by the video quality, especially on the wide-angle lens. It is a big improvement. And for the high dynamic range or HDR video, I see actually no improvement whatsoever. If we compare the photos of the ultra-wide lens, I would say we will see almost no difference. Many people who also reviewed it said that it has much sharper detail, but honestly, I tested with several photos in good light, and I think the last year's Pro model even wins sometimes. However, what is definitely not in last year's model is the macro photography, and it works well. So since it is not available in 12 Pro, it is quite unfair to compare them, but here is how it looks like side by side. The problem with macro photography is that it is automatically enabled when you bring a subject close to your camera, but we need an actual toggle button so that we can choose if we want to shoot in macro or in standard lens. There's also this new mode called a cinematic mode, which looks like a portrait mode for video. It works okay in good light, it needs better edge detection in my opinion, and the AI is not that great to detect faces, and of course it works very bad in low light scenarios. The coolest part about it is that you can shoot a video and then refocus at any time in the video into different subjects. And finally we have a new third lens, which is a zoom camera. Now the zoom is 3 times optical. I'm not sure how to feel about this because I usually use the zoom camera to take portrait shots. And for portraits, I prefer 2 times because 3 times is just a bit too far. I have to move back a bit more to able to capture portrait modes. But if you like zoom photography, I guess you will like 3 times zoom. But I have to adjust. And finally, let's not forget about the iOS 15, which comes with new iPhones. It is unfortunately not a huge upgrade. Some apps look different. Notifications are now grouped a bit better. There's FaceTime now with Android devices and laptops, as well as you can watch movies and play music with other people on FaceTime call. There's also a way to copy text from photos, which seems to work okay. Now it's the recommendation time. Is the iPhone 13 Pro model worth it? Well, depends what you have now. If you have none of the Pro models from the last 2 years, or coming from an Android phone and want to get the latest and the best iPhone, then yes, absolutely, the 13 Pro is the best option. However, if you want to save money, but still want to get an iPhone for photography, then you can just get the iPhone 11 Pro from 2019. This phone is still amazing at an incredible price. But I am sure there are people who don't need 3 cameras, who want a really good battery life and a new design phone. Well, for you, you can get the iPhone 12 from the last year, which is pretty much the same iPhone as this year's iPhone 13. So why pay more, right? And now for the mini. If you want a smaller iPhone, then this year's 13 mini has a really good battery life, which I can recommend. Last year it was not the case. The iPhone 13 mini is amazing for budget and compact size iPhone choice. So here we are. Another year, another set of iPhones. This time we finally have a meaningful upgrade in battery life with iPhone 13 Pro. We have a small upgrade with the camera and a long-awaited upgrade in screen refresh rate. All of this with double storage starting in 128GB and £949 in the UK. To be honest, I really like what Apple did with iPhone 13 Pro this year. Well, except for the color. And I will let you know later in the year how it holds up against the competition with the new Androids. The iPhone 12 Pro from the last year, which I used, really holds well against the new iPhone 13 Pro. So if you have the one from the last year, in my opinion you should not upgrade. This has been Mika. Subscribe to my channel and thank you for watching.